Okay, for 7.5, number 14, we have the square root of 6 plus 3 times the square root of 6 plus or minus 8 times the square root of 6. And so I can go ahead and combine this because technically there's supposed to be a 1 there. So I'm going to take 1 plus 3 minus 8 times the square root of 6, which is going to give me 4 minus 8, which gives me negative 4 times the square root of 6. For number 24, we have 2 times the square root of 9 to the third, 9 cubed, minus the square root of x. So I'm going to go ahead and split this one up here. So it's still going to have 2 times the square root of 9 times the square root of x squared times square root of x minus the square root of x. So square root of 9 is going to give me 3. Square root of x squared is just going to give me x. And then those two are going to cancel themselves out. Positive x, negative x squared. So then 2 times 3 is 6 times x just gives me 6x. Number 42 is 4 minus the square root of 5 times 2 plus the square root of 5. So I'm just going to go ahead and FOIL this, which is going to look like this. 4 times 2 plus the plus 4 times the square root of 5 minus 2 times the square root of 5 plus the square root of 5 times the square root of 5. So 4 times 2 is going to give me 8 plus 4 minus 2 is going to give me 2 times the square root of 5. And then the square root of 5 times the square root of 5 is going to give me plus the square root of 25. So then I'm left with 8 plus 2 times the square root of 5. Square root of 25 is 5, so that gives me plus 5. So then I combine those two, 8 plus 5 is 13, plus 2 times the square root of 5. That's my answer. And then for 68, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to multiply this by the opposite here, top and bottom. So take the square root of 5 minus the square root of 2 over square root of 5 minus the square root of 2. That's going to give me square root of 7 times the square root of 5 minus the square root of 7 times the square root of 2 plus the square root of 5 times the square root of 5 minus the square root of 5 times the square root of 2 all over square root of 5 squared minus square root of 2 squared. So then we can just combine everything on top since we're dealing with the same square root here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this just so I know what numbers I'm combining here. So that's going to give me the square root of 35. 7 times 2 is going to be minus the square root of 14 plus square root of 25 minus square root of 10 over, now we'll get rid of that, so that will get rid of that, 5 minus 2. So then simplify it down just a little bit more, I'm taking the square root of 25. So that's gonna give me, right on the room here, square root of 35 minus square root of 14 plus, actually let's go with the square root first, minus square root of 10 plus 5 over 3. And that's my final answer.